In November, Ukrainian forces continued recapturing areas of southern and eastern oblasts, notably Kherson, city from which the Russian forces retreated on November 11. This has led to the liberation of approximately 4,300 square kilometers of territory since September 2022. Shelling and missile strikes continue to cause the majority of casualties, with 688 civilian casualties registered by OHCHR in November, which is less than in October, over 1,000.
Heavy shelling along with missile and drone strikes was experienced throughout November, targeting energy infrastructure and civilian facilities, and leading to widespread disruption of energy supply, with millions of citizens being deprived from electricity and water at times during the month. Displacement figures have continued to mostly follow a downward trend since August, with a decrease of 626,000 IDPs in October compared to the previous month. Among the almost 6 million IDPs, 680,000 individuals have been newly displaced within the last 30 days. The number of returnees has also reduced by 700,000 compared to last month. Across Ukraine, 785,000 IDPs currently plan to integrate in their current location.
Conflict and safety remain the biggest push-pull factor, although family reunification, access to employment and services and accommodation are also commonly cited. The majority of IDPs continue to originate from, and reside in, the eastern part of Ukraine. The number of refugees from Ukraine is static in Europe, with over 7.8 million individuals having fled the country.
Insecurity in eastern and southern Ukraine continues to hamper humanitarian access in some conflict-affected areas. It is notably the case of Zaporizhia and Vovchansk, which have been hard to impossible to reach in November. Physical constraints such as damage to roads and contamination with explosive remnants of war, ERW, further degrades the ability of partners to assist people in need. This is particularly the case in Kharkiv. In addition, persons with disabilities and older people seem to face particular challenges when trying to access assistance, due to lack of mobility and a lack of sufficient aid. However, on a positive note, newly accessible areas have been able to receive assistance, notably cash and winter items. Lack of employment and low incomes are still driving humanitarian need within Ukraine as households struggle to manage. High inflation, displacement, and additional costs due to the conflict are putting stress on household incomes. The October IOM GPS, Round 10, found that 29% of non-displaced households and 24% of the displaced households report incomes of 5,000 Ukrainian hryvnias or less. This is around 1,700 Ukrainian hryvnias less than the national minimum wage per month. Older persons reliant on state benefits, particularly older women, who may have made less contributions, are of particular concern, as the statutory minimum payment level is unlikely to cover even basic needs. Some households report cutting back on food expenditure or borrowing money to buy basic necessities. According to the latest WFP online dashboard, 10.4 million people are living with insufficient food consumption in Ukraine, an increase of 1.73 million people since last month. This ties in with data from the IOM GPS, Round 10, found that 29% of assessed IDP households, 21% of non-IDP households and 18% of returnee households reported a need for food assistance. The situation seems particularly acute in newly accessible areas, with recent surveys from Khersonska Oblast indicating that many families have had limited access to food for several weeks.